He was basically a visiting assistant professor at Washington State University in 8081. Then he came back to Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and provide services for about 10 years to IIM Ahmedabad. And then again, he went back to the USA, and there he offered his services to various university in USA. And then again, he was invited, called back by Nirma Institute of Management as a professor and director for about 4 years. And then he went back again to USA. And he has in USA, he has been offering his services to various prestigious university in the USA. He has won many awards. He is basically having an excellent teaching experience and teaching awards. He has done a lot of programs. He has more than 60 publications, around 73 publications, and published his articles or his research paper in various journals. He has written number of books, and out of that, the book which basically has impressed me was on Ram and Ramayana. He is basically a publisher and auditor of number of magazines. He has done number of lectures, many service award. So I don't know how much I'll be able to talk about him. So instead of taking much time of the people out of his time, I think you listen to him and you will know that the kind of depth. He is basically an international scholar on Ramcharitmanas and Ramayana. He's running an online course where people can learn how you can read the Chaupai and Doha. And he organizing various international quiz. He provide awards. So like lot of things he's doing for the Indian culture and especially on Ramayana. And we all are, though he is in America, he is taking care of the Indian culture, and we all are proud of you, Gupta sir, for doing an excellent work. Though you are in USA, and I think that people, those who have missed lecture today, they will miss a lot of things to listen, Dr. Gupta. So without taking much time, I think I request Dr. Gupta to start his presentation. Thank you.
लोकाभिरामं रणरङ्गधीरं राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथं कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरं तं श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयोतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्यावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। जय जय श्री राम। Good morning in US and good evening in India, right? And maybe good afternoon somewhere in the middle in Atlantic Ocean. So first of all, I would like to thank Deepak Bhai and his team and Baroda Management Association for giving me this opportunity. Deepak Bhai has one of my recent friends, but in a very short time, I think he is from me. You know, we learned from our company, right? So in my company, he has learned to lie. So he lied a lot of things about me. I'm nothing like that that he told. I'm just an ordinary human being, and being human being itself is a great thing, right? So we are so blessed that God has given us a form of a human being. So thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yeah, audible. Clear. Perfect.
So I want to thank Deepak Bhai for using such kind words for me. So kind of you. So what do we want to talk about today? Generally, I prefer an interactive session where I talk less and listen more. I'm always a very selfish person. Whenever I get chance like this, I say, look, I will meet so many knowledgeable people, such great intellectuals, and I will hear them and I'll learn from them. I listen to them. So I would like to listen to you as much as probably I want to tell you. I may not tell you anything much new, but probably you will tell us or me a lot of something new. So let's move forward. And if you have any question in between, I'm not sure if I can see Zoom here, but later on, definitely I want to address any questions that you have. At least I'll try. I may not have answers. And we will have a dialogue. I am a stronger believer of dialogues than discourses. You know, we have got a lot of very, very highly learned people in our country and all over the world who are expert in discourses. You know, they can speak for 4 hours, 5 hours on Srimad Bhagavad, Ramayana, Gita. They're extremely knowledgeable people. There's no question about that. They're all discourses, but hardly any dialogue happens. But I prefer dialogue. But anyway, let's just move on. So the topic here is like Ram as a leader. So I always question things like in this title, there are just two words, Ram and leader, right? So if we are trying to understand Ram as a leader, so first thing we need to understand what is Ram or who is Ram? किसकी बात हम लोग कर रहे हैं, right? And then other thing is leader. So what is leader or who is the leader? What is the definition of leader? Or effectively we are saying that what is leadership? I guess leader and leadership are interconnected. So if you have leadership skills, then you are a leader, right? Or vice versa, if you're a leader, you have leadership skills. So what is leadership? Now, if you put on a Google books on leadership, say for example, right? I haven't tried that. If you try that, give me a list of books published worldwide on leadership, probably your computer will crash because there must be thousands and thousands and thousands of books on leadership, right? So everybody can write a book on leadership. So what is leadership? That is something I think we want to see. And we want to see what is Ram or maybe who is Ram. So if we know these two things, then we can probably try to see a connection. Is Ram a leader? You know, how good a leader he is or was? And who is Ram? You know, ultimately, how do we know him? So this is something question we will see. So my plan will be, let's say it is 10 past 8 by my time. So let me try speaking maybe 25, 30 minutes. So we have time for, you know, question answer, and then a lot of things may come up at that time. So who is Ram? Now, if I was sitting with you face to face, I would have actually asked you to raise your hand, but we'll not do that. So who is Ram, right? So of course, one option is that, well, you know, is Param Brahma, is Nirgun, is Nirakar, is Paramatma, is, you know, omnipotent and all those things. So beyond our, you know, imagination, comprehension, vagara, 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 ityadi, ityadi, ityadi. So that is one, many of us may think that that's what Ram is. Ram kya hai? Ram Param Brahma hai, Paramatma hai, Nirgun hai, Nirakar hai, hamari soch se bahar hai, things like that. Everybody understands Hindi here? Anybody who doesn't understand Hindi? Okay. So one possibility that, okay, whatever we have heard, read, thought about Ram is just Parabrahma. And as I said, you know, no form, right? All those virtues. Then some of us may think that, yeah, he is Parabrahma, we agree with that. He is God, we agree with that. But he is Sakar, he is in a form, he is in form of a human being. So what does that mean? That he looks like us. He has got two arms, he has a face, he's got 2 feet, and that's the way we look. That's how he looks. So when those of us who believe in temples, when we go to temple, we go to Ram temple, Krishna temple, we see a Murti of Ram and Krishna. So we think that he's in a human form. Now, many of us don't believe in that. Like, and I have full respect for that. Like, our friends who are followers of Arya Samaj, they don't believe in that in human form God. God is there, is just formless, Nirakar. So that's why they don't believe in Murti Puja. So, but many of us say, no. He was in a human form with all that. Then there may be some of us who may say, well, Ram, as we know, look, he took birth in Ayodhya and he was a baby, then he grew up and he went to school and then he got married and he has some problems in his family, just like we all have. And then eventually everything was good and he became king. Things like that, all that story. So he is a human being just like us. The only difference between him and we is that he is a complete human being without any fault, dosh rahit, right? So he's a complete man. I remember a long time ago, maybe it's still coming, Raymond used to give an ad. Raymond, right? Complete man for their shootings. Yeah, but is that right? Yeah, Bhavi, thank you, Bhavi. Yeah. So he's like a Raymond's model, complete man. So no faults, perfect human being. Now we all know that we all have faults. So we don't want to admit, like I never want to admit I have any faults, right? So you ask me, do you have any fault? I'll say, no, I don't have a fault. I'm perfect. But we also know that we have a lot of faults, right? So, but he is a human being with no faults. But then some of us say that, look, he was also a human being and he has his own faults, right? Like he also made some, very serious mistakes. Like he asked Sita ji to do this Agni Pariksha, when he knew very well that she was innocent, and then you are asking an innocent person to go into fire, that is a sin, right? Similarly, he killed Bali, without any notice, in hiding. That is wrong. How can you do that? And there are people who are good at such things and finding faults. They find a lot of faults like that. So I was a human being with faults, just like probably yes, maybe a lot less faults, but we have a lot more faults. But then there are many who believe that look, the whole story of Ram is a bogus story. The whole Ramayana is a bogus story. Look, it's a novel. Somebody long time ago, and that's also debated how long ago, with name Valmiki, wrote a novel, and he called that novel Ramayana. And that novel became popular. And then many people wrote, their own versions of Ramayana, right? And most popular of that today is, Tulsidas's Ramcharitmanas. So ultimately, there are just stories. There's nothing real about it. There's nothing like Ram. It's just a story, nice story, beautiful story, but a fictitious story. So Ram is a hero of the story. Just like we read a novel or we go to watch a movie, and that's not real. They are fiction. So if we cannot settle this debate in our own mind that who is Ram or who was Ram, talking about leadership is meaningless. So when we are looking at leadership, we are looking at leadership in whom? If we think he was from Brahma, Nirakar or Sakar, then there's no, that is God in some sense. Then the whole question of leadership doesn't arise. The leader, talking about God as a leader, that doesn't make sense. So when we talk about leadership, we talk about leadership for a human being, right? We don't talk about leadership of God. that doesn't make sense. So yes, surely, we say, look, if we take it that he was just a God and God only, and God Nirakar or God Sakar or whatever, then I think asking this question of leadership is meaningless. Right? Then we need to move on that, okay, we can't say that, how great leader Ram was, because he was a god. So period. Once somebody is God, then you don't ask any questions, right? We accept them as a god. A lot of people, in our day-to-day life today, and it's very, very prevalent today, many of us accept somebody as our guru, another human being, right? That, so-and-so is my guru. And when we accept that person as a guru, we never question that person. Whatever he says is always correct. We always defend him. We always follow him because we accepted him as a guru, right? And it has, of course, created a lot of problems in society, but that's a different topic, and it can be, controversial. So don't want to go into that. So once you accept somebody as a guru, even today, who is just like us, but we accept him as guru, we think he's perfect, no fault, then we don't question him. So we will therefore think about, well, what is then Ram is? Let's be clear of that in our own mind. And once we are clear of that in our mind, we can see whether the question of leadership is even relevant. Excuse me. So I will take maybe another few more minutes on this understanding who is Ram. And then we'll talk about leadership, and then we'll see connection. So one of the most popularly read book on Ram is Tulsidas' Sri Ramcharitmanas, right? And in today's time, we have in our Gujarat, Morari Bapuji, Shraddheya Morari Bapuji, who is a very well-known Kathakar of Ramcharitmanas. મને નથી લાગતું કે ગુજરાતમાં કોઈ એક પણ માણસ વ્યક્તિ હશે જેણે મોરારી બાપુનું નામ ના સાંભળ્યું. Right? It's just well known. We might have not heard his lecture, but his name is just well known. If you want Morari Bapuji to do katha at your place, you have to take appointment 3 years, 4 years in advance. He's booked, for years and years. He's so popular Kathakar. And he does katha essentially from Ramcharitmanas. So in Ramcharitmanas, Tulsidas very cleverly answered this question, who is Ram? And answer is here, Jinke rahi bhavna jaisi Prabhu Murat. Excuse me. So he is just basically in one line, one chopai, he defined what is Ram. He said, look, Ram is what you think he is. If you think he is God, he is God. If you think he is your friend, he is a friend. If you think he is smart, he is smart. If you think he is an idiot, he is an idiot. So whatever you think about him, that's what he is. And this is a very powerful statement. So even in a very, very basic physical relationship, today I'm in front of you, but in my home, my wife thinks that I'm a husband. My children think that I'm a father. My grandchildren think that I'm a grandfather, right? And my boss thinks that I'm his subordinate. So I'm same person, but different people think me differently because they see me differently in different roles. So how we see him, that's how he is. And this chopai is in the famous episode of Ramayana, when there's a Sita's wedding activities going on. And when Sri Ramji comes there, and then different people see him differently because that whole gathering is composed of a lot of different people. So Sita's parents see him like his child. There are other kings, they see him like his enemy, and things like that. Very beautiful description on many, for about two pages on that. It's definitely worth reading. So we can say that, look, he is Nirakar, Param Brahma, if you that's how you feel. Or if you think it's a fiction, it's a fiction. That's how we feel. There's no need to argue. Tulsidas was a very smart thinker of that era. He wanted to put people together, and we'll talk about it later on, rather than creating frictions. So he knew that in society there are different kind of people. Some people consider him as Param Brahma. Some people consider as a human. Some people consider a human with all these faults. And some people just think that he is just a fiction, So he said, okay, fine, whatever you think, everybody's right. So then when you say everybody's right, there's no argument, there's no dispute, there's no friction, right? I mean, how simple it is to settle things down. But we don't do that, in today's day that, Muslim, Hindu, a lot of things are going on in our country, unfortunately. And then that creates a lot of friction. So he knew how to settle the friction. But then, we should go back. Look, ultimately, the first book on Ramayana or Ram's story, I would say, is a story by Valmiki. See, he wrote this Valmiki Ramayana, or just called Ramayana, but then Tulsidas' Ramcharitmanas becomes so popular, whenever we say Ramayana, we really mean Ramcharitmanas. But the original, or I don't know what is the right word, Ramayana is the one who wrote Valmiki. But it was written in Sanskrit, so most of us are not familiar with Sanskrit, so most of us have not read it, right? I mean, I have not read it myself. I don't have any hesitation in saying that. So we should go to the source. We should ask Valmiki, what does he think about, Ram? Because according to the stories, if Ram ever existed, he existed at the same time when Valmiki himself existed. So they were of same times. When they were of same times, then he would know better who the Ram was, right? Rather than, Tulsidas-ji. Tulsidas-ji was only 500 years ago. So Tulsidas-ji is very recent in history. He's not that old. But Valmiki was like his contemporary, same time. So this Valmiki Ramayana, 24,000 shloks about. Its first kandam is, Balkanda is the Tulsidas. The very first slok, this is how it begins, is this. Tapa swadhyay niratam tapasvi vagvidam varam naradam paripraksha Valmikir muni pangavam. So here the Valmiki meets, so Valmiki has just become Valmiki. We know the story about Valmiki, that he was a dacoit, and then he did all this tapasya, and then he became a rishi. So he meets Narad Muni, and Narad Muni is a very knowledgeable Muni. Unfortunately, again, he's a lot of stories have been created, particularly in the movies. You see him as more like, a funny man or a person who creates problems, but that's really not the case. But that's again a different story. So Valmiki asked Naradji this question. This is how Ramayana begins. And what is the question he asks? कौन वस्मिनः सांप्रत्यम लोके गुणवान कश्च वीर्यवान धर्मगश्च कृतगश्च सत्यवाक्यो दृढव्रतः चारित्रेण च को युक्तः सर्वभूतेषु को हितः विद्वान् कः समर्थश्च कश्चैक प्रियदर्शनः एतदिच्छाम्यहं श्रोतुं परम कौतूहलं हिमे महर्षे त्वं समर्थो असि ज्ञातमेव विधं नरम्. Now I will not, go over and explain all that. So it's Hindi translation, I'll tell you. I'm just reading from Valmiki Ramayana itself. So he has this question. It is Valmiki who is asking this question to Naradji. So the second slok, which is in the top here, he says, "Hey Naradji, इस समय इस संसार में गुणवान, वीरवान, धर्मज्ञ, उपकार मानने वाला, सत्य वक्ता और दृढ़ प्रतिज्ञ कौन है? Who is that? Today, इस समय, right now, while we are talking, who is this person? सदाचार से युक्त, समस्त प्राणियों के हित साधक, विद्वान, सामर्थ्यशाली और एकमात्र प्रियदर्शन पुरुष कौन है?" So he's asking for somebody who has all these qualities. But it doesn't stop there. Then he asks, मैं ये सुनना चाहता हूँ, इसके लिए मुझे बड़ी उत्सुकता है और आप ऐसे पुरुष को जानने में समर्थ हैं. So do you know anybody? Of course, Naradji, has a international driving license. So, and he has got that car which can move with infinite speed. So he can travel from anywhere to anywhere in no time. So he has seen all Brahman. So he knows who is what and where and all that. So yeah, so therefore he is the best person, right? Experienced person, seasoned traveler, and goes everywhere. So that's what Valmiki thinks. Valmiki is interested in knowing about a person, a human being who has all these great qualities. I said, whom should I ask? No, there's no better person than Narad. He has gone everywhere. He has seen everywhere. He is experienced man. So let me ask him. So who is that person? That's why I highlighted the word Naram, that Nar, human being. So who is that person who has all these qualities? Now Naradji listens to him carefully and he gives his answer. बहवो दुर्लभाश्चैव ये त्वया कीर्तिता गुणा मुने वक्ष्याम्यहं बुद्ध्वा तैर्युक्त श्रूयता नरः नर. And then the next line, इक्ष्वाकु वंश प्रभवो रामो नाम जने श्रुत नियतात्मा महावीर्यो द्योतिमान धृतिमान अवशी. And I'll just give you translation of that. हे मुनि, हे वाल्मीकि, आपने जिन बहुत से दुर्लभ गुणों का वर्णन किया है, उनसे युक्त पुरुष से दिस नर को मैं विचार करके कहता हूं, आप सुने. So the person that you're looking for with all these qualities, I'll tell you, there is one person like that. इक्ष्वाकु वंश में उत्पन्न एक ऐसे पुरुष हैं. This is श्लोक नंबर 8, the second श्लोक that you see on the screen. इक्ष्वाकु वंश में उत्पन्न एक ऐसे पुरुष हैं जो लोगों में राम नाम से विख्यात हैं. So इसे कहो कि in this वंश of Ikshvaku was one of the forefathers of Ram. So their whole vansh is also known as Ikshvaku vansh. It's also known as Raghu vansh, has been more popularly known. So इस वंश के अंदर एक ऐसे पुरुष हैं, उनका नाम राम है. So now he's introducing Ram, that is Ikshvaku vansh, and he has all these qualities. वे ही मन को वश रखने वाले, महाबल, बलवान, कांतिमान, धैर्यवान and जितेंद्रिय. And then he continues with many more shloks describing qualities of Ram. So look, we can settle it into two parts, this question. One, we can say, look, again, this is all bogus. You know, he lied, there is no human being like Ram. It's a fiction. Then I think we just leave that thought on one side. Other is Valmiki, the first person interacting with Ram. He was at that time, they have met not once, many times. And we also know Sita ji, after she became queen, she had to go to forest and she lived in Valmiki's ashram, and she had those two beautiful children, Lava and Kush. So there was such close relationship between Ram and Valmiki. So if anybody knows Ram, Valmiki knows. And he calls him as a human being. He doesn't call him God. In fact, if you read Valmiki Ramayana, we are right now running a Valmiki Ramayana class. I think we are finished Balkand and Ayodhya Kand. Next Sunday we are going to begin our Kand. Some of you are attending that class. So Valmiki ji basically tells that, look, he's just a human being. Don't confuse him with God. Right? Now, many of us will get offended with this remark, but that's not my remark. This is Valmiki ji saying. Right? So now you are offended by Valmiki remark, then I'll give you his phone number, you can call him or send him a WhatsApp message. But don't tell me that, because I'm just telling what Valmiki ji is saying. So now we will come to our question of leadership. So if we believe that he was a human being or is a human being, then we can talk about what kind of leadership he has. If we believe he is a God, then this question is a moot question. It doesn't make any sense, right? I hope you agree with that so far. So if he is a human being, then let's look at what is leadership and what kind of leadership qualities he had. And they're already very much described here in Balkand Pratham Sarg. The first 100 shloks are on this. So if you get nothing in today's class or today's this presentation, just Google it, Balkand Pratham Sarg, first 100 shlok, and they will tell you everything about leadership. You don't have to read anything else. All thousands and thousands of books which I've written, people are making a lot of money by all those, beautiful English, right, texts and all that. Say nothing new, which is not mentioned in these sloks recited by Valmiki ji in the very first chapter of Ramayana. So unfortunately, we don't read these things, but we read, Stephen Covey, 7 effective ways and all those things. That's fine, but look, we have much more than that in our literature. All we have to go and look and read that, understand that what is meant by all this. Now again, if we have face-to-face class, I would have asked you this question: what do you think is leadership? So why there are thousands and thousands of books on leadership? Because this is one question, nobody has a definitive answer. No, it's not easy to define what leadership means. People have some ideas, this is leadership. but then there's no widely acceptable definition of leadership. If there was a widely acceptable definition of leadership, then all of us will be in love for, Narendra Modi. But yeah, some of us are in love of Narendra Modi, and they are actually branded as Modi Bhakta, right? Because they love him so much that whatever Modi does is absolutely right. He can never do anything wrong. But then there are others who hate him, right? You say Modi, Jagi Rahi Bhavna Jaisi, maybe that's the reason. Or and same goes with even Mahatma Gandhi. Maybe Modi will be controversial a little bit, but look about Mahatma Gandhi. There are a lot of people who don't think that he was such a great man in any way to begin with. Though he has been called Mahatma, the great soul, right? Father of the nation. How many people get that title, Father of the Nation? I mean, that's a very big title for any human being. But that one man, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, some people consider him as Mahatma, great soul. Some people consider the father of the nation. Wow, what a label, what a respect, what an honor. But then others think that he destroyed the country, whatever. So, because they have perceived leadership differently, people have different perception about leadership. So now I will throw a few points on leadership. This is absolutely incomplete. We take hours and hours and hours to talk about such topics, but that's really not necessary. So, in my view, one of the most important aspect of leadership is essentially visionary. So, person has to have visionary. In fact, when we one of the things that in management interviews, when I was interviewing students for admission to MBA programs in IMA as well as in Nirma Institute of Management. Now it's called Nirma University. Now, since you're all in Baroda area, you all know about Nirma University. So this was one very popular question. We will ask prospective students that what is the difference between manager and leader, and that will zap students. And sometimes you ask questions just to confuse students. So people will give different answers. Right? In my view, this is one of the most important difference between a manager and a leader. A leader is visionary. He or she should have a vision, right? A vision is something that, how does he see his organization, his country, his family? Vision could be for anything, right? Even as a family man, you should have a vision for your family, right? That after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, what kind of my family should be, right? If you are in an organization, what kind of organization it should look like 20 years from now, 30 years from now, you should be able to dream that, more of a dreamer. Right? Or if you are a politician, let's say you're a prime minister, you should have a vision for the nation, that where should this country go. Do you think Ram was a visionary as a human being? What was Ram's vision? Look, if we look at the whole story, when he was born, and again, some people don't like the word born, Bhagwan paida nahi hote, wo to pragat hote. They get offended by the word born. So I apologize to them. But in a normal language, we say born. So when he was born, the country was completely fragmented and divided, right? There was no unity. Why was Ravan, though he was powerful and he had all those boons and all that, able to control the whole universe? Because everybody was just divided. They never came together. And that story of being divided continues in our country even now. That we remain divided, and that's how few. It's a fashionable these days that whenever any topic comes, we start blaming. First we start blaming Muslims. Then we start blaming, this English people, right? Angrez aaye, unhone ye kar diya. But my question is that that may or may not be true. But my question is that we were so many crores of people, few thousand Muslims came or few thousand Britishers came. How did they rule us? Aren't we at fault somewhere ourselves? How did they impose their culture on us? Isn't that fault ourselves? So something is fundamentally wrong with us, that few people come and control us, and we aram se, fall into their lines. So a leader has to be visionary. So he has a vision to unite the entire Bharatvarsh, right? And bring all people together. And that's what we did. Now, look, he could have, he was the king of Ayodhya. He had a whole army, and they're very, very powerful. They could have simply taken army to Lanka, attacked Ravan, and killed him, right? But they didn't do that. He didn't do that. He traveled, walking on foot all the way from Ayodhya to Lanka. And why did he do that? He did all that to unite people, because people were frustrated. They had negative mentalities in their mind. They were all divided. There were differences among them. He brought all of them together. So this is one example of his vision there. And then, of course, the second example of establishment of Ram Rajya. For that, you have to read the Uttarakhand, where the definition of Ram Rajya, what it begins. We need one whole class to talk about Ram Rajya. So Ram Rajya is a vision. That's the vision Mahatma Gandhi had. Mahatma Gandhi has written a lot on Ram Rajya. He wanted to see India as a Ram Rajya. Ram Rajya doesn't mean that we make a Ram temple everywhere and we do Ramji ki Aarti or Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. That's not what Ram Rajya is. Ram Rajya is a system of governance where everybody is equal. There is no discrimination. There is respect for each other, and there's harmony in the society. That's what is Ram Rajya. Now we confuse all that with simply chalo mandir banao or puja karo or jo Jai Shri Ram nahi bolta hai usko maro, right? That is not what Ramji's vision was. He didn't say anything like that. So putting society together was his vision. That goes in the organizations, right? If you're a manager in a company or vice president or CEO, CFO, there are all kinds of titles. Are you visionary? Where do you want to take your organizations to? That's a very important part of life. Leaders are change agents. They bring transformation. They make changes. They don't just do routine things. Routine things are done by managers, supervisors. But bring about changes in the system. Bring about changes in the society without any selfish interest, right? An example could be like in Kishkinda, Bali was ruling the kingdom, and he has taken control of his younger brother's wife and kicked out his younger brother. Now, what Ram did, he changed that system, but now he killed Bali, so he could have taken over the control of Kishkinda, and Kishkinda could have been part of Ayodhya, extended that, right? He didn't do that. He said, look, we have removed that governance, which was not dharmic. We are going to replace with a dharmic government, but we are not going to take control, take possession of this land. This is not our land. Same thing he did in Lanka, right? He is the one who took all the risk. He is the one who took his army, Vanar army. He is the one who took that big fight with Ravan and his Sena. But after all that, he gave away this whole kingdom to Vibhishan, isn't it? Now that is leadership, right? Do we do that? If we bring about any change, most of us don't bring about change. If we do want to bring about change, then we do not want to give to the right people. The leaders are value driven. Now, of course, with Ram, the value is part of his name. Nobody says Ram. In fact, it's not a proper thing to say Ram. You always say Maryada Purushottam Ram, right? The Maryada is part of his name, right? Maryada Purushottam Ram. Simple. So his Maryada is such a value driven, he's a leader, if nothing else, very high values is integral part of leadership. And I do not think, I'm not expert, I've not read everything, I've not understood everything. I would say that we cannot find a better example of this other than Bhagwan Shri Ram, for value driven in the entire history of mankind. So value driven for values, he gave up anything and everything that he had to give, and very happily, very voluntarily, right? When Bharat came to Chitrakoot to request him that, please, brother, come back, we cannot live without you. And he still was firm on his values. That, look, our values are what? Our values are, we have to respect the word given up by our parents. We gave to Mother Kaikeyi, we gave to our father Dashrath. He is no more though, but we need to uphold to that. And though everybody insisted that he should go back, right? His mothers insisted, his gurus insisted, brothers insisted, everybody insisted. He would have gone back and became king, right? Nobody would have corrected, nobody had any business to criticize after that, because everybody is begging and and pleading to do that, but he would stay on the values. That is the sign of leadership. I do not know how much of that we can do in our life now. Of course, one of the standard comments come, अरे अभी कलयुग आ गया, गुप्ता साहब इसमें थोड़ा बहुत ऐसा करना ही पड़ता है. Honestly speaking, this is really not true. And I will give you just simple, very quick example. When in 1996, I had, that's what, 24 years ago, yeah. And Nirma Industries decided to open a new business school. So they were looking for somebody to head this institute or start this institute. And I had that opportunity. So I took that job, though I was at that time, working in US and a full-time professor. But still I thought, look, this is something where I can probably bring about some change in the education system. So I went there. Now look, this was probably the first private business school in the country. And I think there's one more open at the same time in Ahmedabad. So, and it was then called Nirma Institute of Management. Now look, private business school, completely autonomous, nothing to do with government except for the AICT approval type thing. There are a lot of pressures on me, particularly the pressures on hiring faculty and admitting students. India में क्या चलता है, जान पहचान हो, पैसा खिला दो, admission हो जाएगा. You get the pressures from your own bosses. And there are two things I told them when I took job, that in hiring faculty and in admitting students, you have no word at all. And we did not, at least 5 years I was director, did not admit a single student because of any kind of influence, pressure, bribe. In the beginning, people will come home and they will bring, indirect way of bribing and things like that. And I'm not saying all that to, brag about myself. I'm saying all that it's difficult. It's not easy, when your boss or somebody through, an agent of boss calls you, Gupta sahab, iska to kuch karna padega. My answer was no. Or take my resignation, then tomorrow you do whatever you want. And I don't need 3 months notice. I will leave today itself and tomorrow I will not come. But this will not happen. And they respected that. So when people say that in organizations, as a compromise to karna hi padta hai, frankly speaking, I don't buy that. It is really not necessary. Yes, it creates inconvenience to us. It creates some sacrifice on our part. But yes, we can be on value. Then leaders have to be firm decision makers. You make decision, you have to stand by that. You can't be wishy-washy and can't be changing decisions. And Bhagwan Ram took this kind of, once he took the decision that he will go to forest, he will go to the forest no matter what, isn't it? So a decision is made, it will be done. No, whatever it might take. And that's the quality of leadership. Leading by examples. In the entire Ramcharitmanas, you'll find, barring few exceptions, unlike Bhagavad Gita, where it's all, sermon by Lord Krishna to Arjun, he hardly gives too many lectures to people. By example, you learn how to behave with people, for example. Like when he goes, and a simple and a beautiful example is of the Kevat episode. After they are asked to go to the forest, so he, Lakshman and Sita ji come. And now the river comes, Ganga river, and need to cross it. And there's only one boat and only one boatman. So he is the only one who can take them other side. So he says, okay, please, we need to go other side. So can you take us? Now that boatman, now where is that Chota boatman and where is Ram? If nothing else, he's still Prince of Ayodhya, right? Maybe he is in exile. He's still, if nothing else, he's very powerful. He has got his Dhanush Ban. If nothing else, he's got Lakshman. He has got his Dhanush Ban. So he's not scared of them at all. He simply said, look, I will take across provided I have some conditions. Condition 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what does Ram do? He could have said that, look, your conditions are unfair. Come on, take us otherwise or else. And वो डर के मारे ले जाता. Even Lakshman offered कि मैं इसको जरा अपना एक बाण जरा बताता हूँ जरा I'll just show it to him. वो फटाक से मेरे को अपने को ले जाएगा. बोलो nothing doing. इस समय we are the ones who need his help. He is the one who can help us. We need to request him. And we need to honor what he says. We can't show our power. So what happens in our society? You see it all the time. People with slightest power use it and abuse it, right? So even people don't have power. If I know somebody, कि मेरे चाचा है ना वो कलेक्टर है या DIG है और IG है, you say you don't know me? मैं कौन हूँ? पता है मेरे चाचा है ना वो IG है, and उनका काम हो जाता है. That is not how you become leader. You lead by example. So he said, okay, whatever your conditions are, tell us. And Kevin tells his conditions, and then of course he accepts the conditions, and then he gets his service. So leading by example, there are illustrations after illustration in the Ramcharitmanas and Ramayana about this quality of leadership. Now I'm going to stop very quickly. It's already 8:50. He unified the country. I already talked about it earlier, right? The country was fragmented, in different societies, caste, tribes, Bhil, Kirat. So he brought everybody together, right? That's the job of leaders. A big team player, and one of the important component of team player is that you give credit to other people, right? He did so many things as a human being, but he always gave credit to others, never took himself. And the biggest accomplishments of his life, or his avatara, if you may want to use that word, was killing of Ravana, right? But whom did he credit for, right? He credited Vibhishan for that. He credited all his Vanasena for that. So when they come back to Ayodhya and meet their Guru Vasishthaji, so he tells Vasishthaji, introduces Vasishthaji with his Vanasena. So he tells his Vanasena कि हमारे गुरु हैं वशिष्ठ जी हैं, इनके आप पैर पड़िए, ये मेरे गुरु हैं, और इनकी कृपा से, इनके आशीर्वाद से हमने सब राक्षसों को मारा है. So he's giving credit to Vasishtha ji, who has nothing to do with the whole war, right? The whole battle took place, and Vasishtha ji probably was not even aware of it, but he gives credit to him. But more than that, the next line of Ramcharitmanas is very important. He tells Vasishtha ji that, hey Gurudev, ये जो सारे मित्र हैं ये लोग, they are all my friends. इन्होंने मेरी बड़ी सेवा की है, और रावण का वध इनकी वजह से ही हुआ है. Because of all these honors, I was able to win this battle. Otherwise, I would not have won the battle. So throughout is a big team player. Puts people together, doesn't let them know that he's the boss. Always consults them, right? Even after they reach Lanka, now how do you attack Ravana? So again, he asks all his, ministers, so to speak, Jamwant, Hanuman, Nalnil, okay, we are already in Lanka. Now, how do we attack it? What is the way to do it? Always consults them. What is the way to do it? You want to cross the ocean, then again he consults everybody कि कैसे करना चाहिए. लक्ष्मण जी से क्या ocean को cross करना है, अपना time क्यों waste करना है? Let's just try this thing and move on. Then Ramji said, no, okay, you are fine, we might do that, but let's just ask everybody. And then Vibhishan ji said, look, pray to, गरज हमारी है, जरूरत हमारी है. Let's pray to ocean. Okay, bhaiya, we want to go to other side. So show us a way. How do we go other side? And okay, then Ramji said, okay, we'll do just that. So look how much patience he has, how much respect he has for others. And that's a very important quality of a leader, that we should be great team player, no matter what position we have the team, even if you are the top of the team, you are the leader of the team, you should know how should you play your game. And the leaders are, of course, are forgiving. How many people he has forgiven? You know, Jayant, Indrasan Jayant, a very good example. He comes and he hurts Sitaji, and still he doesn't kill him. But he gives him a lesson that that is not to be done. So there, so there's no end of. I mean, this is just a kind of a glimpse of some of the leadership qualities. We need hours and hours to go into the details of that. So how good was Ram as a leader? I mean, that's you can decide. You know, I'm not a judge. I cannot tell you how good he was, but you can think about what do you think is leadership, and then compare with what Ram did, and then you do the matching, and you yourself can judge how great he was as a leader. So with that, I'm going to stop. Now, you want me to stop the screen, or anybody needs here? Let me keep it there. If anybody has any question or comment on the slides, otherwise I can close the screen. So I'm going to stop with this and open for whatever time you have. It's up to you. I have all the time in the world. But if any question or any comment you have, you are welcome to ask me now. Yeah, Usha Parekh ji, Dr. Saab, please go ahead. Usha ji, you raised hand. I think you have a question. Usha Parekh ban, Dr. Usha Parekh.
Yeah, people can unmute the mic if required, or you can raise the question. Nirmal bhai, chat box में से you just read out the questions which is asked by the participants.
No, I cannot hear anything. हाँ मुझे सुने कुछ सुनाई नहीं दे रहा. भाई कहीं संभला तो नहीं भाई कहीं. So please mute all this unnecessary voice. So unless you are asking a question or you have a comment, please mute yourself. You know, if you're asking, then you unmute, and I know this mute unmute business is always confusing. So yeah, Shah, you have a question? I see only last name here, Shah. SHH. You can ask me in Hindi, English, Gujarati. All three languages are acceptable.
Yeah, I think there is no any question from participant, and there is one my question to you, sir. The biggest success story in the war against the Ravan is, I think, the development of Vibhishan-like personality on the enemy side. So, in today's scenario, in business competition or anywhere, how it is possible to develop any Vibhishan in competitor side? Because I think Vibhishan is played a big role in Ramayana.
Yeah, no, okay. So we need to understand what is Vibhishan or who is Vibhishan, right? So who is Vibhishan? Now Vibhishan, who was in Lanka ever since, right? And did Ravan know about him that he is like a different kind of a character? Did he know or he didn't know that? So Ravan also knew very well that he is not my kind of a man, right? He is a different kind of a man. And that's how these three brothers grew up, because when they were when they were born, they all did very heavy duty, tapasya, and they all asked boons of their taste. So Vibhishan that time asked that, look, all these people want, different kind of boons, but all I want is Bhagwan ki bhakti. मुझे और कुछ नहीं चाहिए. So he was given that. So he was into the bhakti that Ravana had known all along. So it was nothing new. But then he loved his brother, right? He could have probably killed him early on, but he didn't do that. See, Ravana also has a lot of qualities, which we just see him as a negative person. But he knew that this Vibhishan can one day be very dangerous for me. Because from beginning onwards, his thinking and Vibhishan's thinking were diametrically opposite. Right? But still, he gave him a palace, and he was one of his ministers in his darbar. So, knowing fully well that he's a person whose philosophy is very, very different. So, if in other companies, if there are people whose philosophy fundamentally is very different from the management of that particular company, right? So they are always looking opportunity to get out of from them. Maybe they have some compulsion why they are there. Now, why Vibhishan was there all this time, right? He was there all this time. He could have left. He didn't leave because sometimes he needed motivator to do that. And who provided him that motivation? That was Hanumanji. So when Hanumanji goes there, he meets Vibhishan, and when they introduce each other, they exchange their, visiting cards, right? Visiting cards. They exchange their visiting cards. Then, oh, you are Hanuman. You are connected with Ram. Oh, okay. So, and who are you? You're Vibhishan. You are Rama's brother. Oh, yeah, all right. But then, how come you are having all this Tulsi ka pauda here, and how come you are saying Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram? You are Rakshas. So, बोले क्या करूँ मैं? अब फंस गया हूँ. What do I do? Then it is Hanumanji who motivates him, inspires him in so many indirect ways. Look, you are in the wrong place. Because simply your mentality and the mentality, that's just too much mismatch. And that is the seed that Hanumanji plants. Now you are probably getting an answer of your question. So how do you plant that seed? You need to have Hanumanji with you. People who have the talent and skills of Hanumanji, who can go there in that Lanka and tell such people that they are in the wrong place. But then, if you are playing a game, like if that other company is also Ravana and your company is also another kind of Ravana, then you are working on your own selfish interest, right? So are you like Ram or are you like what? That's the question. So I will start with that. That, okay, is it simply because I have got vested interest that I want to get the best people from that so I can destroy them and I can, increase my market share or my profitability? Then, this is a battle between two Ravans rather than, Raman and Ram. So that's more of a fundamental question which we don't want to answer. We essentially want to say, okay, वहाँ के अच्छे लोगों को मैं कैसे मारूं ताकि मेरा धंधा बढ़े. With all hooks and crooks, we do such things. I don't know whether I answered your question, Anil Bhai, but I think that's the best that I can do.
Yes, sir. Also, one more question, like characteristic about what you mentioned. One word, passionate. I think this is the biggest characteristic we can learn from Sri Ram, because thanks to during the lockdown, I've gone through the entire Ramayana serial, and I noticed that every certain period of life, after certain period of life, there is some hurdles. Whether it's every certain period, there is some hurdles created, but every time he has crossed that hurdle with very passionate and create the win-win situation. But to understand this passion, again, you have considered it's 180 degrees sometimes. What is your opinion about passionate?
I think most of what you said, I really missed out. Can you briefly say it again, very briefly? What's your question?
The question is about the passionate.
Passionate, okay.
Passionate. In Sri Ram life, entire life, we have noticed that after every certain period of the life, from the childhood, he is facing always some hurdles in the life, some problems. But at the same, with passionate, he has crossed that hurdle and created a win-win situation. Whatever is that.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And that is of course, as I told you earlier in my presentation, that the list of, I think probably I gave eight bullet points, but that is by no means is a complete list, right? So, and it is not only Ram's life; it is the story of our life. From our life also, we have problems all the time, right? But how do you take those problems? How do you deal with those problems? That's what we need to learn from the story of Ram, right? It's not like we don't have problems. We probably have just as many problems as Ram has. But how we are going to deal with this? Society is going to criticize us, and we have challenges, and there'll be adverse situations. Then how do you deal with that? And that quality, if you don't have, you cannot move forward. So that is definitely a very important part of leadership, very important part of life. And that is something that's at every stage of his life, we can see and we can understand and we can try to follow in our life, maybe with some minor, provisions or, changes, the way we encounter situation today. But yes, you're right. You have to have that. You can call it skills, you can call it patience, you can call it decision-making ability. And as long as we breathe, we are going to face this. The only time we will not face it when we stop breathing. So after that, I don't know what happens, but till that time, we will have this, and we will have to. After he becomes king, and they think, okay, everything is good, all story is over, but the story is not over. Of course, Tulsidas ji cannot even think about Sita ji going to Vanvas again. So he doesn't even write that story in Ramcharitmanas. It's too painful for him. That how, he does, if you have read Ramcharitmanas, he say, okay, they come to Ayodhya back, they are incarnated and they know, and then establish Ram Rajya, and the story is over. So because the other part of the story is just too much.
Yeah.
Bothers him so much, hurts him so much.
Yeah. Actually, I invite Mr. Naval Gupta, N.K. Gupta, ex-deputy director of the LPSC Trivandrum ISRO. Gupta ji, sir, please, your comment, please, sir. Any question?
Thank you. First of all, I would like to congratulate Professor Gupta for giving his wonderful talk. But my only one question is, why Hindu religion is always put for a very big scrutiny, whether such a thing exists or not? Give me evidence. And we Hindus unnecessarily indulge into providing evidence after evidence. You are providing evidence for whom? The Hindus, by and large, they believe Ram is there. Let us concentrate on that, rather than unnecessarily ourselves becoming defensive. Oh, I will give this evidence, that is not required. For example, you take, suppose today you ask somebody, even Christianity, they believe Jesus Christ was born to a Virgin Mother Mary. Can you give any evidence scientifically? It is true. No. But we believe because we respect somebody's faith. That's it. Hazrat Muhammad, he died, then he resurrected. Jesus Christ has resurrected. Have you ever seen any person resurrecting after their death? Not happens. But we are not questioning because we are Hindus, tolerant, we tolerate. Whatever is your faith, please continue with this. We are not questioning. So when somebody questions us, why we become apologetic, defensive, and start defending it? And defending for whom? Are you trying to convince Muslim or a Christian that Hinduism existed? No. We are interested in Hindus should believe Ram was our God or Ram was our deity or Brahma or Parambrahm, whatever it is. Believe that and proceed with that. Can somebody prove Alexander existed? Alexander was great, 300 BC only. Our story is 5000 BC. Which proof you can bring? Can you bring the author of that time? It is Vedas. It is all this one. So we should unnecessarily become defensive. And let me put one more word. People say it is a myth. Myth does not mean untrue. Myth is a meaning of the myth is it's a subjective truth. If you believe, it is true. If you don't believe, it is wrong. That's it. So if you don't believe Ram, don't believe. Ignore those people. That is strengthen those who believe in it. Thank you.
So I don't think this was just a comment. I don't think there was any question. So I really will not comment on that. Anybody else? Okay, since nobody else is there, let me just comment on what Navalji just mentioned. See, I personally never like to talk about other religions. But if we look at the history, how old is Islam? How old is Islam? How many years? How old is Christianity?
Yeah, 2000.
Okay. So they are not very old, right? Islam to bahut is a very young religion. So these religions are very new, relatively speaking, to Sanatan Dharma. And there's no such thing as Hindu religion. I don't know how the word Hindu came. The word is Sanatan Dharma. I personally never like to use the word Hindu Dharma. This is Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan is eternal. It's always was, always is, and always remain. So when these other religions did not exist, we ourselves did all this questioning. We ourselves all did all this questioning. It's not like the other religions are the only ones which have done that. And if they question, it doesn't perturb me. I'm not responsible for answering anybody's question. Why do I answer anybody's question? It's up to me for me to decide, right? So my approach is now. I think we are talking about something which is not relevant to today's topic. My approach is that we have for last 6. Bhavanaji, I'm coming to a minute. I'll ask. Give me just 30 seconds, Bhavanaji. 6 months ago, we started up because of this Corona thing. We started this online seminar on what we call platform as Sri Ram Charit Manthan online. So every Saturday we meet like about 90 minutes and different topics of Ram Charit we talk about, and then there are many other things we are doing. So any one of you, we have a WhatsApp group which Deepak Bhai will be happy to add you there if you like to. So you can contact Deepak Bhai. We never sit and criticize the religions. What is the point, But I think we want to look good by telling that others are bad, or we want to look good by telling how good we are. Right? So I want to talk about how good we are in a modest way, not in a bragging way, right? So there's no point of telling that I'm taller than you by simply measuring you. Oh, you're 5 feet 6 inches and I'm 5 foot 7, so I'm taller than you. I'm 5 foot 7, so I'm tall, period. And I want to become 5'8" or 5'9", whatever. So I should compare myself with what I was yesterday versus what I am today. Rather than, again, for everything, we start blaming others. This is my personal approach. I really want to improve myself. I want to see what are problems with me. I want to fix them as much as I can. And those I cannot fix, I will accept them with humility, right? So rather than just blaming, sometimes somebody wrote me, oh, this is legacy of, the Britishers. They left all this. One of the criticism is about, this Hindi language is like used like a step something, Sotali, English is a priority and all that. And this is because of English people. Okay, English people left, say, 70 years ago. You could have changed it. If you've not changed, it's our own fault. We can't keep. How long we are going to blame Britishers? Not like I love Britishers. I'm not saying that. But are we going to blame Britishers for another 500 years, 1,000 years? How long we are going to blame Muslims? They came long time ago, right? So why did they come? How did we allow them? How come they ruled us for all these years? Why we didn't stop them? We talked so much about bravery and courage and all that. Where were all our brave people, right? So we don't look at those things. Chalo, ho gaya, usko bhul jao, forget about it, right? Whatever has happened, move on. So, and improve ourselves. That's the right thing. I think we become taller, and so other automatically become shorter, rather than trying to shorten the other people. So Bhavanaji, you want to ask question, please go ahead.
1 minute. I think
Bhavanaji, sorry, you spoke, sir. I will give chance to Bhavanaji. Bhavanaji?
One question.
I don't want to get into debate here, So this is not
no question of debate. I want to put my question in proper perspective. I myself is very moderate and very broad-minded. I work in ISRO. I am not questioning the Christianity of Islam. But I am giving example is when we are subjected to the scrutiny, we must defend ourselves that no religion can prove scientifically what they are claiming themselves. So don't please question me on this issue. My faith is a faith. That should be our ground. Rather than digging, he existed, that existed, Setu was there, this was there. I think all Hindus believe, those believe, they are believing it. I am not putting that Christianity or Islam is bad or bad. I have never told this. When nobody is subject to scrutiny, why I am subject to the scrutiny? That is my question.
Okay. Anybody else? Bhavana ji, Dr. Bhavana Dave, you had a question? Yeah, please go ahead. Unmute yourself. Unmute. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, or Dr. Vidyasagar Patel, are you ready with question?
Yeah. Not a question, but I was to add both Gupta sir. This जो क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं वो हमारे ही लोग हैं. क्रिश्चियन क्वेश्चन नहीं कर रहे हैं, मुस्लिम भी क्वेश्चन नहीं कर रहे हैं. बिकॉज ऑफ हिंदूज जो वीकनेस है उसकी वजह से क्वेश्चन खड़े हो रहे हैं. हम ही यूनाइटेड नहीं है, उसकी वजह से सब क्वेश्चन खड़े हो रहे हैं. धर्म, आस्था और इंटेलेक्चुअल के बीच में कोई रिलेशन ही नहीं है. इंटेलेक्चुअल बात आती है तब धर्म और श्रद्धा जैसी बात कोई नहीं होती. इसलिए जब इंटेलेक्चुअल होते हैं उसको कोई धर्म से कोई लेना देना ही नहीं है और उनको ये सॉफ्ट टारगेट है हिंदू धर्म. इसलिए बार बार वो टारगेट किया करते हैं.
चलिए, डॉक्टर भावना दवे इज अनम्यूटेड नाउ. कैन स्टार्ट. बोलिए भावना जी.
Namaste. I am coming from India, Ahmedabad. It's my little bit some points. I know only that Lord Sri Ram can't compare anybody. It's my humble request कि श्री राम से कोई उसके साथ हम कंपेयर नहीं कर सकते. मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम है. तो उसके लिए तो श्लोक है ना एक रामायण का. आदो ही श्री राम तपोवनादि गमतम हत्वा मृग कांचनम वैदेही हरणम जटायु मरणम सुग्रीव संभाषणम वाली निग्रम समुद्र तरणम लंकापुरी दाहनम पश्चात रावण कुंभकर्ण हननम एतत् पुरी श्री रामायणम. Whole Ramayana, it's briefing one slok.
Yeah, so what is your question, I think, to Mr. Gupta?
It is one point, my little bit. Purushottam Ram can't beat any other person.
चलो ठीक है. Very good. Thank you. Yeah, any so there's no question. She wanted to recite that slok.
Highlighters.
So anybody have a question? Or?
Gupta ji, thank you so much.
Deepak bhai.
I am very glad.
Thank you. Deepak bhai, please.
So thank you so much everybody for the opportunity, and I definitely will like to apologize if I said anything that you was not of your liking or something that was inappropriate, because I said whatever I said with my own very limited understanding. So I make no claim on knowledge or expertise or anything like that. I always come at every such platform as a student with sole intention of learning. So I do make mistakes, and if you think there's something I said which is wrong, incorrect, improper, my apologies. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Deepak bhai.
Yes, sir. So thank you very much, sir, for being kind to deliver a talk at Baroda Management Association and make the session very live. The question answer session was really wonderful. People have taken a lot of interest, a lot of suggestion has come, and it was really eye-opener, and we have learned a lot of things, and it was basically a different dimension you were given to the Ram as an individual. We used to see Ramayana as a story, and I think that you brought out some of the points very nicely, that what are the leadership quality and how Ram has showcased those leadership quality during his life. And I think that you brought this topic and you brought this qualities of Ram very nicely during your talk. And I think that people are enlightened and they have learned a lot of things out of this. Thank you very much for being kind and taking trouble to get up early in the morning and deliver a talk at Friday evening. And we wish that